Yes, Memphis Wrestling. It all started as a dream. And it started the very first time I watched Memphis Wrestling in 1971. Now, when a lot of kids were wanting to be policemen or firemen or NBA players or NFL players, I wanted to be, my dream was to be in the wrestling business. That was my dream. You know, the name of the book, Living the Dream, the Randy Hales story, Memphis Wrestling, is me sitting at this laptop and writing and putting into words my story. The good, the bad, the ugly. But it was all about a dream. It was all about a skinny, young 10-year-old kid from Jonesboro, Arkansas that wanted to be a part of Memphis Wrestling. It started watching wrestling at 10 years old. It evolved real quickly to selling professional wrestlers pictures like Eddie Marlin, Jerry Jarrett, Tojo Yamamoto, Bill Dundee, Jerry Lawler, and so many more. Then, at 13 years old, you can read it all in the book. It's a living the dream story. At 13 years old, I became a ring announcer of the weekly wrestling matches in Jonesboro, Arkansas. It led to promoting towns. It led to being in the office. It led to being Jerry Lawler's assistant booker in 1986, Jerry Jarrett's assistant booker in 87, and then booking for a couple of years after that, going away because it happened all too fast and I was all too young. But then when I returned, it was like Monday Night Memories. It was like Memphis Memories. It started again with a hell of a run. A hell of a run starting in 94 with the great Monday Night Memories show, Lance Russell coming back. Then it went into the Smoky Mountain USWA program and feud. And then it went into Power Pro Wrestling. I lived the dream. You're reading about it in the book. But, you know, when I talk about some of the things, some of the times that I was on television, I thought that it would be good to put together a video with a lot of stuff with me on the dream show, my dream show, the show I dreamed of, the show I not only was on, starred in at times, was a major factor of it, but also produced and booked Memphis Wrestling on TV5. That is a dream. So I thought as a companion piece to the book, because I can't put video, I talk about a lot of stuff. You cannot put video in a book. I could have put links, but I thought we would have this companion piece about some of the stuff I personally was involved in on television. Remember, living the dream. The Randy Hales story, Memphis Wrestling, is my story, and it's a dream. And dreams end up very rarely coming through for people. And thank the good Lord that it came through for me. But sometimes dreams, most of the times, dreams don't last forever. And it all came to an end. But 20 years after, when a long time ago I gave up leaving a legacy. I gave up ever being in wrestling again. And I've had an exciting life and a successful life and a happy life, and I love it. But the piece of me still wishes that every Saturday morning I could go to WMC TV, 1960 Union to Memphis, Tennessee, and do that TV show. I could go to Memphis, Tennessee, at the Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis, Tennessee, every single Monday night. I wish I could still do that. I wish I could get on I-40, then I-65, and go to Louisville, Kentucky on Tuesday night, Evansville, Indiana on Wednesday, Rupp Arena in Lexington, Tennessee, or Lexington, Kentucky on Thursday night, on Friday, the spot shows, the Tupelos, the Bibles all over, Saturdays, TV, as I said, every single Saturday, then either Jonesboro or Nashville, Jackson, Tennessee, all the great towns. I wish I could all do it again. And you know, obviously I like the creative stuff. I like the promoting stuff. I like the management part more than anything. But I would be lying to say it wasn't a thrill. And it still is a thrill to be able to put in tapes from Channel 5 and tapes from the Mid-South Coliseum and all the stuff that I did, and to say I was a TV personality. I was a part of Memphis wrestling. And I thought we would go back with Adam Dunn's help in putting this video together and show you, as once again a companion to this book, show you some of the great things or some of the stuff that I think's great, and I hope you will think it's great too. It kicked it all off when I started ring announcing in Memphis and doing interviews and doing commentary with Lance and that sort of thing. I was still going to college, and I had a class project, and that class project was to produce for a big part of our grade, produce a program. And I decided, and the instructor told me I was stupid. It's stupid when a producer wants to be talent, because I wanted it to be, the show to be a concept show about pro wrestling, a look at pro wrestling. And I wanted Lance Russell to be my guest, and I asked Lance, who I admired, who was a mentor to me, just like Eddie Marlin was a mentor to me. So I wanted Lance to come to Jonesboro, come to Arkansas State University, and be my guest on a show that I wrote and produced and hosted that show. And there's rare video, not the complete show, some of it, but I wanted you to get a look at a very young Randy Hales. And the instructor even told me, first time I ever did this, to put television makeup on. I was all made up. I looked like a fool. Lance came. Shane, his son, came, brought him there. We did that show, a look at pro wrestling with Lance Russell. And we have a little bit of that that's been on YouTube. And I want you to take a look at that right now.
We're back with Lance Russell when we're taking a look at professional wrestling. Lance, how did you get into being a wrestling announcer?
Well, I'd done sports, Randy, the football, basketball, baseball, boxing bit, and it so happened that a station that I was working at the time was in Jackson, Tennessee, and they started carrying wrestling, and I guess the most natural thing in the world was, because I'd done all of the others, they said, can you do wrestling? I said, why not?
Have you?
And that was the start,
right.
And so I've been doing it a long time since then.
Well, how did you get into, I know that at one time you were program director for WHBQ Television, and now I understand you work full-time for Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, I put in 20 years with RKO General, enjoyable time, and I had a lot of headaches as you'll run into in some of the management parts of broadcasting, and then the opportunity came to combine the fact of the television experience with the wrestling experience. All the time, that even after I stopped announcing full-time, when I was a salesman and then became a director of programming and all, I still did wrestling in some other sports, and so I just decided it was a good time to go into it full-time, and I'm glad I did.
I know you told me one time that you are really liking doing what you're doing now better than anything you've done in your entire career.
It gives me the opportunity to do both of them. I love broadcasting, so that I call on stations, and I sell our wrestling program to stations that are interested in carrying it, and still do the broadcast. So it keeps me in touch with the broadcasting, but at the same time, in all the years, I still love wrestling. I'm just like a fan, man. I just love going to the matches and seeing the matches and all that, and it gives me that opportunity to combine both of them. So nobody could ask for a whole lot more than that.
How much traveling do you do? I know you go around seeing a lot of wrestling all over the country. How much much, or are you on the road?
Nowhere near as much as the wrestlers do. And, you know, that's the thing that every week goes by, at least a dozen different young gentlemen or young ladies also, and you'd be surprised at how many of them are interested in getting into wrestling. And they say, well, I know it's tough, and it's a tough business and all that. And it is, but I always tell them one of the toughest parts of it is the traveling aspect, because many of the wrestlers, excluding the ones who are flying on major jaunts from one city to another, just in driving in a territory will put in 2,000 to 2,500 miles a week in an automobile, and that gets to be awful tough.
And that means,
I don't go that much.
That means they have to be away from their families quite a lot.
Yes, sir.
That's
they
a hazard.
Sure do. It just becomes a way of life of living in the ring and in a motel room and in a car, and that's about it.
It was 1984. I guess in doing commentating, this play-by-play, this is one of my favorite things. One of my favorite things. It was the Rock and Roll Express against Randy Macho Man Savage and Leaping Lanny Poffo. It was at the Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis, Tennessee. The Poffos against the Rock and Roll Express with yours truly, Randy Hales, doing the play-by-play. So let's take a look and a listen and a watch at this match.
Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis, Tennessee. Randy Hales at ringside, and we are looking forward to what, in the ring announcements, we called a sensational tag team battle that we're mighty pleased to have right here in Memphis. Rock and Roll Express back in town. Rick Morton and Robert Dixon against Poffo Mania. Randy Savage and Leaping Landy with Angelo Poffo at ringside. Savage, but Robert Gibson comes back on top. Savage down. Look at this action. The Rock and Roll can go. Oh, nice flip one. One count's all he could get. Robert Gibson back up. Quickly takes him down. Tag on Rick Morton. Big double elbow. This team can go. Savage on the other side. Referee is Jerry Calhoun. The crowd still packing the Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis. A native of the state of Tennessee, he's from Nashville. Started his wrestling career right here in Memphis. Look at that spectacular entrance of Leaping Lanny. The Poffo family, symbolic of a whole family of tough athletes. Let me tell you something for a flat-out fact. These people, look at Lanny. And a fine move there. Savage comes back in. Watch out for the Rock and Roll. We're enjoying it. Yes, sir. Savage, after one of the crowds, the referee starts the count. Here comes Lanny back into the ring. And Angelo trying to quiet the crowd down. They're 100% behind Rick and Robert. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Angelo Poffo complaining about something. What? I don't know. his leverage, and look at those moves. They go after Randy. Vexing, both of them. Angelo better watch out or he'll be put down. Rock and roll with a countdown. Yeah. Bruising action with championship wrestling in this match. Randy Savage leaps into the ring. Robert Gibson. Angelo comes around, going to distract Rick Morton. Morton will go after him, I am certain. Yes, sir. Sends him down. Angelo Poffo does his job, distract anybody around. Oh my goodness. Look at Lanny go after Robert, but Robert gets out of the way. Here comes Morton. Ricky goes after Randy Savage, puts leaping Lanny down. Savage is reversed out of the ring. Look out. Angelo sends him in and kicking him at the 6.5-minute mark. The Savage and Poffos getting vicious. They are getting vicious. Oh, big right hand to Morton. Fires him back in the ring. Oh. Into the turnbuckles. Oh! Morton hits hard. A boot to the top of the head. Drops down on the back of Morton. Rick taking a tremendous amount of punishment. Elbow. Savage snaps him down. And Morton moves. Rick is badly cut. A tremendous cut on the head of Rick Morton. But Rick, we remember, a tremendous amount of fight. But he's caught by Savage in the corner. Rick with a right hand. But leaping Lanny with the boot to the midsection. To the turnbuckle and a tag on Savage. Lanny holding the tights as Randy Savage hurls him out. Oh, this is this move by Savage. Oh my goodness. Morton picked up, back in the ring, trying to get the tag. Missed it, and a tag on Savage's brother, Lanny Poffo. Here comes Angelo.
Going to lead to a beautiful victory. It's stunning.
Angelo Poffo with his brand of commentating. Lanny, Rick Morton moves. Good move on Rick Morton. He may be tagged. Yes, sir. Goes after Lanny, puts down Savage.
remember whose idea this was, and Jerry Jarrett was booking. It might have been Eddie Gilbert pitching the idea overall, because Jerry Lawler had thrown fire at Eddie Gilbert. Eddie Gilbert had thrown fire at Lawler, and Lawler was out for a little bit and injured, as the young upstart Eddie Gilbert had pulled a dirty deed out of the bag of tricks of Jerry Lawler. So one week Eddie Gilbert burned Jerry Jarrett. The next week it was my turn. And a lot of people over the years have posted on YouTube. A lot of people over the years have asked about this. So that dreaded day on Saturday morning, when I was involved in a situation where I was co-hosting the show with Dave out of town, but as also with Eddie Marlin not around, also I was running the show as far as the people was concerned. And we get an altercation with Misty Hyatt, and Eddie Gilbert involved Tommy Gilbert, and Doug Gilbert involved the fire, and it was a crazy situation. And I want you to take a look at the dreaded fire.
Big action lined up today, and we're going to be getting into the ring with the opening bout. Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert will be involved. And speaking of hot stuff, really feeling your oath. Yeah, I don't know why you're feeling all that good today.
Oh, I see you got our Mr. Matchmaker. Now, why don't you go ahead? I saw at the start of the show, you didn't really. Everybody tells my compadre, Randy Hales. Everybody should know that he's taking Eddie Marlin's place now. Jerry Jarrett's doing the matchmaking around here. Oh, you're such a good guy, Randy Hales.
Yeah.
Now, I've noticed today, he's put together such a good wrestling card for today, by the way. I've noticed on here, I don't see Jerry the King Lawler wrestling today.
No, he is not scheduled today.
It's real funny to me. It's wrestled for the past 15 years on this television. Jerry Lawler has capitalized and come out here and ran the show. He's been here every week upon week. He's always been here. But ever since Hot Stuff arrived in the area, I haven't seen Jerry Lawler live in person here yet. Where's he at?
It's his own business. He will have his own reason for not being here, and we'll leave it at that.
I'll just go ahead. I see you. Once again, you're being partial. Once again, you don't want to tell the people.
No, I just simply said it's his business. It doesn't happen to be your business.
That's all. It is my business because I got a lot to do with the reason why he's not here. See, people sitting at home, Jerry Lawler is not here today after the beating and the pounding he took last week from me.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
No.
He's sitting at home.
Hey, one, he proved he was coming back, and you said he wasn't going to be back here. Two, you had a whale of a match, and let me tell you, I can see the scars right now remaining from Jerry the King Lawler.
Are those glasses clear? Did you see the same match I saw that I was in?
Yeah,
the one where
saw.
Jerry Lawler was down begging, please don't hurt me. The one the referee was wanting to stop the match, and the people were crying, please stop the match. He keeps hurting. Oh, and
yeah.
he was begging. I tell you what, I almost felt sorry for him.
Yeah, I know you.
Because he beat my poor fist horribly with his head so bad it was terrible. I was, oh, Lawler, please don't do that anymore. I felt so sorry for him for a little while, and then I said, nope. I'm not going to feel sorry for you, Jerry Lawler. You brought it upon yourself. I told you I was a new king. You've got to realize, just like Larry Holmes, the great world boxing heavyweight champion, you were great in your time, but this is my time.
Well, wait a minute. You want to go ahead and make that kind of a story and try to make people... I believe that I can get a tape queued up of that match. We've got one in the house.
Hold it. No. Stop back there. It specifically states in my contract that you or nobody else can show any tape of mine without my permission written down.
Well, you want to tell such a big story? Let's take a look at the tape.
No. You cannot show that. I'll sue this place and take everything it's worth right now. It's in my contract. Just take my word for it, people. I beat that poor king, if you want to call him that, across around the building so bad, I proved I'm the king of wrestling. If he was the king of wrestling, he would be here right now. But I'm here. He ain't got the guts to be here. He's a coward. And I have finally proved my story is correct and true.
Well, you've got a match in the ring, so let's stop talking and get
What's the fastest time again? Didn't I set that record right?
Yeah, you set the record at 16 seconds. I know. Okay. Eddie Gilbert going to the ring. Okay, we're about ready to start with our opening bout here. Finally, after Gilbert shut up. I noticed he didn't want that tape shown. You want to make the official announcements on this one, Randy?
I'll be glad to, Lance. There's one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing from Memphis, Tennessee, Ken Raper. His opponent, ladies and gentlemen, from Every Girl's Dream, introducing Hot Stuff, Eddie Gilbert. With him at ringside is Missy Hyatt, and we're underway with this one fall 10-minute time limit championship wrestling match.
Ken Raper.
What?
My turn to commentate. Yes.
Come on, Missy, let us do the match.
Missy, let us do the show.
Eddie Gilbert scissors the legs, takes Ken Raper down to...
I've got more experience doing color commentating than you.
Missy, will you go back down to ringside
Missy.
down there, please?
I don't want to, okay?
Missy, let me tell you this. All the Gilberts have been trying to run this championship wrestling show for the last 3 or 4 weeks. You're not going to. We don't need you to do commentary here. Lance and I are completely satisfied. Well, you're not going to do it.
Yes, I am. Yes.
Listen, Randy is my guest today, so just leave it alone, will you?
I'm not by this station, and I'll fire you, and I'll get rid of you, and won't let you on this TV. I want to do it.
Well, that's
I
fine,
want
but...
to do it. I'm going to do it.
Well, the day you're not... Hey, Missy, get out of here. You're not going to do it today. I don't care what you want. Lance, she's throwing up. Sit. I'm not going to get up.
Come on, Missy, just go back over there and sit down.
Eddie Gilbert and Ken Raper. Eddie Gilbert.
Eddie Gilbert in with Ken Raper in the middle of the ring, and, nails Raper.
You're not going to be here, Missy. That's all there is
Get to the ringside,
Eddie
please.
Gilbert in the ring with Ken Raper.
I want to do this. Here, you take fear. You won't let me come.
Come on,
You
Eddie.
have a match in the ring, Eddie.
Everybody likes me better.
Count the guy out.
What is the problem here?
Listen, she isn't
What is the
invited
problem?
here.
She is not going to do this show. I'm getting tired of the Gilbert. Lance is getting tired of you guys trying to run this championship.
You ever thought for a second maybe the ratings on this show has picked up a lot since the Gilberts have been on? You ever thought about that?
Come on, Ed. Well, let me tell you, you're getting counted out.
counting you
You're
out
getting
right
counted
now.
out about that. You're getting
You
counted
think
out.
I care? I care more about my lady than that match.
Okay, it's at 8, 9,
She wants to commentate.
10. You have just lost the
You
match.
lost the match, brother.
Ring the bell. It's good stuff to say that about me, doesn't it?
You lost the match. Ken Raper beat Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert.
Did you see him beat me 1, 2, 3? You get up and hurt.
He got his... The match
There's
is
nothing
over.
to
He's
commentate
not going
on.
to
The match is
commentate
over.
now or nowhere in this show. We're not going to let you or we're not going to let you run this show, Lance. I'm sorry. Come on, then.
Just because Eddie Martin, Jerry, just because you're like their adopted son, you want to come out here, make up the pretty matches. You think all of a sudden you're Mr. Boss right there?
I'm telling you.
Come on,
I'm
Eddie.
telling you right now.
Take it
You're
out.
not going to do this show. This is not the place to conduct business.
It's my show. It's the Eddie Gilbert, Missy Hyatt show. You can't tell me. You don't tell her what to do. You set your butt down right now.
Hey, let me tell you something, Eddie Gilbert. We're getting tired of this. You're not going to tell us how to run championship wrestling. You're not, and the rest of the Gilberts not. We'll run the
Why don't
business.
you go ask Eddie Martin, why don't you go ask Jerry, or anybody else that works in this promotion that's ever told me anything to do. If I don't want to do it, I won't do it. I don't like listen to authority. I don't like authority. Nobody tells me
Let
what
me
to
tell
do.
you, you came out here last week and you burned Jerry Jarrett.
That's right.
Jerry
How's
Jarrett
it going?
worked his whole life, Eddie Gilbert, to build his wrestling career and
what?
build this business. And we're not going to have people in here. I don't want any more of it. Get out of here.
And if you ever realize
Eddie, you don't have to talk
push
to
the
him. We got a
Gilberts around,
break coming up
push
in here.
well, get out of here right now.
Eddie Gilbert,
You didn't learn a lesson from
I'm
Jerry
not
Jerry,
gonna
did
come out
you?
here.
You didn't learn a lesson from Jerry Jerry, did you, huh?
All right,
Maybe you
Johnny.
better learn.
Let's take a break, and we'll be back here in just a minute.
I never thought I would be a wrestler. I never thought I would be. I wasn't big enough. I wasn't strong enough. I wasn't athletic enough. But I could do a promo. The people knew me. The people liked me. And when I was booking at one point, I'm thinking, man, I can do a little thing with Scott Bowden because he does a heck of a heel promo. And rest in peace to Scott Bowden. Rest in peace to Scott. Died way too young. He was certainly about 13 years younger than what I am right now as I'm recording this interview. But Pat, or Scott, grew up around Kevin Lawler and Brian Christopher Lawler, and he ended up refereeing and then a manager, and he was a evil, no good son of a gun on that air, and he did a very good job, and he would go way above the line, over the line of what you laid out to him. I wanted to book a match between me and Scott Bowden, but I wanted him to do an interview that would bring me out. I told him, I said, Scott, just piss me off. Just piss me off. And then I came out, and I want you to take a look at that. Scott Bowden and Randy Hales.
Up again, Dave Brown. You've been rude to me all day. You know why Randy Hales doesn't have the authority to suspend Jerry Lawler? Have you ever wondered that? Why Randy Hales never makes a decision? Have you ever wondered that, Dave Brown?
He makes decisions.
No, he doesn't. You know why? Because he's nothing more than a figurehead. That's because he's partially retarded, Dave Brown. I didn't know if you were aware of that.
Don't start with that stuff.
I didn't know if you were aware of that, but Randy Hales is partially retarded. Dave Brown, have you ever seen the look on a wrestler's face when he wins a big match? He's grinning from ear to ear, and he's jumping up and down. Have you ever seen that look? That's the same thing that Randy Hales does whenever he forms a complete sentence. He's an idiot. He's legitimate. Hey, let me tell you something. He does not have the power to make a decision out here. So come on out here, boy, because you can't suspend me either, because I'll slap you around. Evidently, you don't have the authority, you stinking redneck from Jonesboro. The reason why nobody ever knew he was retarded, because he lives in Jonesboro.
Don't say that again.
Nobody notices, because everybody in Jonesboro is retarded.
No, come on, Scott. All right, you getting ready to get cut off one more time here, because we're not going to put up on this. Come out here and talk about Randy Hales. You've got there are matches coming up this week.
He even has a job here in the USWA because you think, well, he's retarded, so why they have him around? Well, many years ago.
Quit using that word.
Many years ago, Eddie Martin was going through Jonesboro, and he met up with a little wrestling groupie, and now Randy Hales is the illegitimate son.
Now, stop. That's it right there. I've had it. Not going to listen to any more of this. That is it. I told you, you come out here and you talk about... This Randy can speak for himself. Come on. Come on, Randy. Not the place for it. Randy. Scott, stay back away from him. Hey. Randy, stay back. Get him out of here. All right, take him on out of here. Please, get him out of here. All right, Randy, hold on. This is not the place, Randy. Hold on. I know. All right. All right, let's just take a break. We'll be back here.
One of my proudest moments was bringing Lance Russell back, and in 1994 doing the Monday Night Memories concept and the match at the Mid-South Coliseum, bringing Lance Russell back, having Jimmy Hart do it, the song Monday Night Memories, fantastic, and it kind of got my booking career really a second breath, and really that's what I'm known for, and it evolved into a Smoky Mountain USWA wild program, Smoky Mountain Wrestling and Jim Cornette, and USWA involved Bob Armstrong. There's a lot of highlights in that feud, that including a very bloody Randy Hales, including Bob Armstrong beating the dog doo-doo out of me and Eddie Marlin making the save, all kind of stuff. Some great things happened that I was very proud of. Some of the stuff you will see me on air. Some of the stuff was just my backstage, behind the scenes, the creative part of it. But I couldn't do this video without including the Smoky Mountain USWA feud. So let's take a look at this.
Found a program stuck back in my drawer. It was faded, it was torn. I couldn't wait till I looked inside. Some are gone, some are still alive. I watched them every Saturday on TV. I couldn't wait till they climbed in the ring. Monday night memories are all I have to remind me of you. Jerry Lawler, he's the king. Austin Idol, superstar Dundee. Handsome Jimmy, he's so cool. Jimmy Hart acted like a silly fool. I watched them every Saturday on TV. I couldn't wait till they climbed in the ring. Monday night memories are all I have to remind me of you. Jackie Fargo said, put up your dukes. The girls thought the fabulous ones were cute. Sputnik Monroe, Don and Al Green, the Gilberts and the Funks, I thought they were so mean. I watched them every Saturday on TV. I couldn't wait till they climbed in the ring. Monday night memories are all I have to remind me of you. Jerry Jarrett told Joe Yamamoto when he died, it hurt me so. Eddie Marlin, Buddy Wayne, Guy Coffey, hope they never change. Lance Russell, they call Banana Nose. Dave Brown was his sidekick, everybody knows. Monday night memories are all I have to remind me of you. Monday night memories are all I have to remind me of you.
DDT, yes it is. Taking Randy down to the DDT, my goodness. Randy's just a promoter. He's not used to taking this kind of punishment. I see some swelling over the top of his left eye, excuse me, his right eye. Taking the boot from Jim Cornette. Numerous shots to the right shoulder and the rib area. Here 3 or 4 weeks ago at the hands of Ricky Morton and Mark Curtis. Randy suffered some fracture to the rib area. Randy ducks and comes back with the clothesline, drops Jim Cornette. Can you make your way to Frank Morrell? I don't know. Cornette's holding him by the foot. He makes the tag on Mark Curtis. Randy Hales desperately trying to reach Frank Morrell. Mark comes in, the big foot into the same shoulder, same rib area that Randy's had problems with over the last few weeks here. Mark Curtis getting ready to drop him. Oh, a backbreaker across the knee. Randy is knocked out on his feet, so to speak. Mark Curtis a little showboating off the second ring rope. And comes down with the elbow, and no one's home. Randy Hales out of the way, calling desperately. It takes Rich Morrell. He tags the Angel. He's in, the strap goes down. You know what that means. That big fist coming to everybody. Jim Cornette, Mark Curtis, Jim Cornette one more time. He gets set up for the ride. Sends it. Cornette. Oh, we got the call. He's got the call on the forehead of Jim Cornette. out. I've only known of 1 or 2 people to ever get out of the claw unless they're being helped. And that's what happened. Mark Curtis takes the raking across the eyes of Frank Morrell to break the claw, or this certainly would have been over with. Wrestlers a lot bigger than Jim Cornette have gone down to the claw of Frank Morrell, and if it hadn't been for Mark Curtis, Jim Cornette would have had a headache for some time. Joe Wheeler has got Frank Morrell leaving the ring area, calling Randy Hales, who does a flying mirror on Mark Curtis. Randy Hales pulls the flying mirror out and got the cover and the front cut. Randy Hales single-handedly, well, I shouldn't say single-handedly, that was Frank Morrell. Your winners, Frank Morrell and Randy Hales. Mark Curtis being forced by Frank Morrell. Mark doesn't want to do it. He's close. They're an inch away. Come on, Frank. Get him down there. Frank distracted by Brandon Baxter and Jim Cornette. Hold it. Nature Boy Buddy Landell with the tennis racket over Randy Hales' back. Taking it to Frank Morrell as well. Brandon Baxter into the ring area. Dropping the elbow across Randy Hales. Nature Boy Buddy Landell. General Cornette's first lieutenant, making his way into the ring to interfere. Brandon Baxter with Randy Hales. Mark Curtis and the Nation Boy taking out Joe Wheeler. Ringing the bell here, hoping somebody from the USWA will cut. This superstar makes his way into the ring. That doesn't take long to clear it out.
I got burned out, so I took some time off. Jerry Lawler took over for me because I asked him to take over for me. Then I was off for a couple of months, and I talk about the story. I was battling demons, Paul. I was battling demons. But I came back, and Lawler said, well, how do you want to work yourself back in? And I kind of had, because I really had, but went half nuts. So I had an idea of me coming out of nowhere, nobody expecting it. Lawler didn't tell anybody I was coming, so it was a surprise on TV when I showed up. Randy Hales is crazy.
Really gave him a battle. I mean, I think you got to give it to Charlie Laird and Tony Williams for the effort that they showed here today. Yeah, they lost the match. They lost the match. The Dundees are going to get the victory. But there they go, the Dundees and the Kings celebrating the great victory. My goodness gracious, it's Randy Hales. Randy? Randy is Randy Hales on a leave of absence here. Randy, you've been on vacation, it looks like. And my goodness, this is not the way we're used to seeing you. Used to seeing him in a coat and tie here. You doing all right?
I'll get into that in just a minute. First of all, Dave, the reason you hadn't seen me here this morning is not a person in this world knew I was coming today. I just walked in the door. You say I'm on a leave of absence. Right. Why don't you tell the people out here today why I'm on that leave of absence? Tell the people why I'm on that.
Well, I don't want to get into that. This is not the place to talk about it, Randy. You know as well as I do it isn't, Corey. No, Corey.
How about you, Bruno? I don't know.
Come on, Randy.
To be honest, I don't know. But what is it?
Randy.
Everybody listen to me.
I know there's some trouble. Let me just say I'm glad to see you again, but let's talk about it.
Dave, you know, I thought this would be just like this because everybody back in the back behind closed doors in your weather office, what you do is you tell what's on your mind. Then when you come out here, you don't tell the truth. You're the company line, you protect everybody. But what I'm going to do today, everybody listen, I'm going to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, and I'm going to expose a lot of things that's going around here. I'm going to expose a lot of things about this company.
Dave, what is Randy?
Dave, what I have to say is that you know it and everybody here knows it, that from the time I was 10 years old, I wanted to be in professional wrestling. Everybody thought it was a joke. Everybody thought I didn't have a chance at all. Everybody thought it was funny, but I fooled them, didn't I, Dave? The reason I fooled them is I worked harder than anybody. I worked my brains out day in and day out.
Yeah, you did.
Quite frankly, I was smarter than everybody else, and I became, from a 12-year-old kid selling programs to the person for the last 4 years been running this company. The highest rated TV show in the country is this show, is that right?
Yeah.
The only wrestling company that showed a profit the last 3 years is what company? This company, that's exactly right. And while I've been doing all the work, you know what's been happening? Let's talk about other people's contributions in this company.
Well, it takes a lot of people, you're right.
It's taken me for 3 years, only me, and everybody knows it. And I'm telling people here. Now, let's talk about the owners of this company. Let's talk about the owners of this company sitting in that big mansion on that big hill in Hendersonville. You hate them, Dave, just like everybody else, but you don't have the guts to say it. They drive their BMWs, right? They drive their Mercedes. They buy their yachts. Then what? How do they do it? The reason they do it, Dave, is that they're spending the millions of dollars I make for them in this company, and they don't share it with anybody else. How about Eddie Marlin? Stay away from me, Corey. How about Eddie Marlin? What is Eddie Marlin doing? Have you seen Eddie Marlin lately?
No. Now listen, and you know as well as I do, there have been some health problems in Eddie's family.
No, the truth of the matter is Eddie got old and fat and lazy. What Eddie Marlin does, he sits on his couch. He sits on his couch. His wife sits on the other couch, and you know what? All they do is sleep and eat all day, and they spend more money on grocery bills than they paid me a week, and I'm sick of it. If your name's not Jarrett, and if your name's not Marlin, they don't care if you live and die around here, and that's the God's gospel, people. That's the God's gospel. And you know what it all did to me?
Randy.
All my hard work, you stay away from me. You know what all my hard work did? You know what? Have you ever been broke? Have you ever been broke, Dave?
Randy, no.
Well,
fortunately, I haven't. Randy, you got some problems.
Let me tell you what those
I didn't know it. Let's go back in the back.
Let me tell you what the problems are. I got evicted from my apartment. I got my car repossessed. I'm dead broke. You can have that because there's sure not any money in there. That's what happened, Dave. That's what happened.
Randy, I didn't know all of this. I didn't. And I'm your friend. Let's go talk about it. Corey, I'm not
going anywhere. After I left this, I didn't take a leave of absence. I told the people, I told them to shove it. I quit. And what's happened the 5 weeks I've been gone? These shows are horrible and you know it. The talents are horrible.
Randy?
Who's out here? People like Mr. Coffee. How about him? Everybody
Randy,
knows he's
I'm going to ask you to go to the back. All right, Randy, now calm down. You got some problems. Let's talk about it. If I have to, I'm going to ask security to take you back in the back, Randy.
You stay out of this because you're the only person in the world who's been good to me. But you know this needs to be said, and I'm going to say it. What are you going to do to get me
I said
out of here?
I am going to ask security. If I have to, I don't want to do that.
Let me tell you,
come on.
He's going to have security get me out of here. What have you ever done? What have you ever done? I've gotten my head busted out of this company. That's security. Bring the security on. You think they can do anything about it? I've gotten his... What can they do to me? They gonna hit me? Are they gonna hit me? Are they gonna hit me?
Come on, Randy! Come on, Randy!
He done went nuts! She had one. Don't leave Randy alone. Let Randy go. Get him out of here.
Yeah, James, somebody can do it. Let's take a break.
Then Lawler had an idea that we're doing the Memphis version of the Nation of Domination. He came up with the idea of me being Randy X. Not my favorite thing that I ever did, but I thought, to be fair, on this video with a lot of the stuff of me on camera, I thought, man, this embarrasses me. But we have to show a little Randy X, so let's do that now.
I am going to interview you. I gave Corey the opportunity to say what he wanted to say. I'm going to give you the opportunity too. You've got your career's on the line, and I think you know who most folks are going to be pulling for.
Dave Brown, I'm not going to come out here, and I'm not going to yell, and I'm not going to scream. This is intended for Corey Macklin and only Corey Macklin. Corey, I heard you come out here. I heard what you said. Corey Macklin talked about how he wanted to be successful. He talked about how he was a successful announcer. Well, Dave, if you tell the truth, you and I both know as an announcer, Corey Macklin sucks.
That's not true, and you stop that.
Corey Macklin said he wants to be successful in his personal life as a husband. As a husband, we know better than that, don't we, Corey?
You want to talk about the match or not?
It comes down to this, Dave. Corey Macklin says he's not doing it for the money. He's doing it for the ego. Well, let me tell you something. This is fun for Corey Macklin. Since I was 10 years old, I've said it before, this has been my life. So let me tell you something. This coming week, career versus career, Corey Macklin, I can promise you my life's at stake. And you will be screaming and yelling and saying I quit, because I won't quit. I won't quit wrestling unless I breathe my last breath, and that's not going to be happening. You'll need to find a new announcer partner, Dave Brown, because Corey Macklin is finished.
One of the happiest days of my life was when we got started in April of 1998, Power Pro Wrestling. I had chills, I had goosebumps, I was a nervous wreck. It was the very first interview. It was the interview probably that I put more pressure on myself than any promo that I've ever done, because it was my job in that interview to explain to the people what Power Pro Wrestling is and what it's going to be. So here is that very first interview that I did.
Mr. Hales, it is good to have you here today. I know it's got to be an exciting day for you. Yeah, balloons and everything. We step on a balloon and it goes off. That's all it is. Don't worry.
This is almost too much, Dave. I'm telling you, everybody, I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm fired up. I'm as nervous as I can be, and to tell you the truth, I'm a little bit emotional here today. But I want to do something, Dave. You know, I watch TV award shows, and one of the things sometimes I cringe when people start with the thank you speeches, but it's something that I have to do here today. And, you know, this has been something that I've been working hard at, and there's people that's been involved that I couldn't have done this without. Two people that I really want to thank, not only in a business type of situation, but in a personal situation. I really don't think that I would have survived, much less be able to be here and say that I'm opening up Memphis Power Pro Wrestling. I want to say two gentlemen, Dave Brown, Corey Macklin back there. You guys, we've all been through tough times. I love both of you guys like brothers, and thank you very much. Also, I want to thank several other people. I'm real tickled to death with all the great wrestling talent, the roster of talent. I think the people will be tickled to death. Special thanks to Buddy Wayne. Buddy's been assisting me and doing different things and running around and going crazy. I want to thank Buddy, the situation, the support from here at WMC TV5, the whole building I want to thank, but especially, of course, Creighton Armour is the director of operations. That's the guy that you saw earlier. The guy that we've been, his wife told me, said, he's been seeing you a lot more than he's been seeing me lately, is James Estes, our director. He's the best in the world, folks. And a special thanks to Mason Granger. Yesterday, of course, was his last day. Mason's upstairs. I salute you, Mason. Oh, yeah. I appreciate it very much, the confidence and giving me the opportunity. And I want to thank the fans right here and the fans of Memphis, Tennessee.
Greatest in the world. I know this is a lifelong dream, and I know you got big plans for this company.
I want to say this. I think we're fortunate, people. Memphis, Tennessee in the Mid-South is the greatest place in the world to live. The greatest place in the world to live. And I want to tell you, I've followed professional wrestling all my life. And this Memphis Power Pro Wrestling, TV5 Power Pro Wrestling, from the bottom of my heart, we're going to do, every person here, going to do everything in our power to make Memphis TV5 Power Pro Wrestling the greatest wrestling television program in the country. Memphis, Tennessee, this is going to be a wrestling promotion that you're proud of. A wrestling promotion for Memphis, Tennessee that's local. I'm thrilled up, and I promise you, the greatest wrestling possible. Everybody, thank you very much here today.
Thank you, Randy Hales. Thank you, Randy. And we're going to continue with Power Pro Wrestling. We're going to be looking at the Universal Heartthrob and the
final confrontation. Lawler and Dundee still to come.
Hi, this is Jim Cornette, and I'd just like to say congratulations to Randy Hales, Mason Granger, all the folks at WMC TV, and especially all the fans in Memphis on the birth of Memphis Power Pro Wrestling, bringing the tradition of Memphis wrestling back to the whole area and keeping Memphis alive as one of the great wrestling cities in all the country. And by the way, just remember, when Memphis Power Pro Wrestling hits that Mid-South Coliseum, well, you know, James E. might just have to come home.
I never felt that I wanted to be the Power Pro Wrestling version of Vince McMahon in the WWF or the Eric Bischoff version of and Nitro and WCW, but a big part of the early days of Power Pro Wrestling just happened. And I explained that in the book. It just happened by accident. And some of my favorite stuff was the Strong Feud that drew some money, drew a lot of interviews, a lot of ratings, a lot of good houses, and it was successful. It was me in the Jimmy Hart, me in the heel manager type of role and bringing people in. It was a fantastic time. Did so much great stuff with Jerry Lawler. And so I wanted you to take a look at the Jerry Lawler, Randy Hales feud that ended up involving a lot of people, including Lawler's wife at the time, Stacy.
Fans of Memphis, a great wrestling promotion. We promised it, and you got the main event right here. Main event.
You're not doing this. You know you're just doing this to punish Jerry. This is not going to happen.
He's in the main event, and he's the king. That's why.
So your big idea, Randy, is you're going to bring Kane to the Mid-South Coliseum, the house that the King built, and you're going to bring Kane down here to try to do me in. That's what you're trying to do, and don't say you're not because you're a liar if you say you're not.
I booked the King against the hottest wrestler in the country, Kane, and then Stacy comes out scared to death, and apparently you are too.
Trying to get rid of the King. Well, let me tell you something, pal. The King that you see on Monday Night Raw that's up there laughing, having fun, making jokes, is totally different. I do that for a paycheck, pal. But right here in Memphis, Tennessee, at the Mid-South Coliseum, the house that the King built is going to be a totally different story. If you think for 1 minute you're bringing Kane or anybody else in here that's going to get rid of me, you got another thing coming, pal, because I'll do whatever it takes, whenever it takes, when I get in the ring with whoever at the Coliseum to make sure that the King remains the King. I didn't go out to some dime store and buy this, pal. I earned this crown. You understand that? Your big master plan, if that's obviously what it is going to go up in a cloud of smoke, or better yet, it's going to go up in a big ball of flames if it has to, pal. Because like I said, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to get it done. Nobody, including Kane, is going to come into the Mid-South Coliseum and beat the King, okay? Send you a little message. Hey! Right there. Hey, come on, sir. Come on. Come on. Now, that's from Stacy. Did that one hurt a little more, pal?
This may be the biggest match we've had so far on Power Pro Wrestling because the owner's got his hair at stake. It's going to be Billy Joe Travis, Randy Hales against Lawler and Stacy. Guaranteed there's going to be a head shave here today. It's no time limit, no disqualification. For their introductions, let's go to the ring and my partner, Corey Macklin. Corey?
Yes, sir. We are ready. Our television main event today on the Power Hour. Here, climbing into the ring now is the team wrestling out of Dallas, Texas, 226 pounds, the Music Man, Billy Joe Travis, and his partner from Jonesboro, Arkansas. He's the owner of Power Pro Wrestling, founder and president. Here is Randy Hales. Randy Hales. Aubrey Wayne is the official referee. And their opponents today, making their way to the ring area. Now, for this big main event, Dave, this is going to be a big one. There will be someone head shaved right here in the middle of the ring. Here is Jerry the King Lawler and his partner from Memphis, Tennessee. Here is Stacy, the King and Stacy.
matches. Aubrey Wayne, no time limit, no disqualification. There must be a winner. Someone's head will be shaved right here in the middle of the ring. And the barber assigned for this match, he's shaved rather many heads. Mr. Guy Coffey, he's going to do the honors right here. Mr. Coffey's got the clippers and all of the tools, and we're getting ready for a big head shaving right here in our main event on the Power Hour.
Soon as Corey makes his way out of the ring here, we'll go down to one wrestler on each side. It's Lawler against Billy Joe Travis. No time limit, no disqualification. A head will be shaved before Power Pro leaves the air here today. We've had the Power Hour going for a few months now, but we've had a lot of big Power Hours, let me tell you, but nothing like this one, huh?
Oh, boy, I tell you, every week we say it's bigger and bigger, and I'm telling you, it's getting bigger.
It's getting bigger and bigger. Crowds are getting bigger. Everything's getting bigger. Let me tell you. Back in the corner. The King hit by a right fist by Billy Joe Travis. He is staggered by that one.
Come on, get him,
He puts the fist up. He's back into the corner. He's on his guard. I think Travis caught him a little bit by surprise. The King, over the years, over his entire career, has been known as a bit of a slow starter. But boy, can he come back. Travis smacks him again. Well, I tell you what, that'll get him going.
Yes, sir, Bob. Billy Joe Travis, the music man, tangles up with Jerry Lawler. Lawler with a big right hand. Boy, he nailed him with that one.
You hit Lawler with a fist, and you expect one coming back at you in the near future, and that's exactly what just happened there. Travis went to the tights. He's got a chain in his hand, in his right hand.
Got it balled up there, yeah. Now he wraps it around his fist. You can see the chain right there. And he tangles up with the King. Jerry Lawler. Lawler whips him into the rope. Travis comes on high in the air. He goes down.
Travis again whipped into the rope. This time he catches Lawler with that chain-wrapped right fist.
Dave, I'm telling you, he crushed him with that one. Lawler up.
Oh, my goodness. He almost had him.
Randy's about to go nuts over on the sideline.
In all the time that I've known Jerry Lawler, I've only seen him incredibly concerned about a match at which his hair was at stake. It's a matter of pride for a wrestler. I know, yeah, it's a trend these days, actually. Brandon Baxter, till he got fired, was an example.
Yeah.
People purposely shave their heads. Short hair is back in style. But it's something that is that many wrestlers, especially a guy like Lawler, there's a count. Oh, he almost had a 3 count. It's something that a wrestler like Lawler really takes into consideration before they sign a hair-against-hair match.
Oh, you're exactly right about that. And hey, you talk about sending out the dogs. Randy Hales had 4 bodyguards, sent all of them up to Jerry Lawler, trying to keep Lawler from making this main event match here today. But the King standing right in the middle of the ring, ready for this main event.
And he didn't have a mark on him when he got here.
No.
So it looked like Lawler not only overpowered him, but outsmarted him.
He sure did. Found the last one lying around the bathroom there somewhere here in the station. I don't know exactly where he was.
Billy Joe Travis. Buggy whips him across the ring. Lawler comes back with a right fist. He didn't have a chain. Oh, look out. The strap comes down. Billy Joe Travis, you're in trouble.
Look out. Randy Hales jumps in. He slams both of them right into each other. Safety in the ring. Pounding away on Randy. Randy tripped her up. He's got Stacy covered in.
Got a pin. The referee is trying to separate Lawler and Travis. Lawler with a boot to the top of Randy Hales' head. That stops that. Lawler says to Stacy, cover it.
She's got Randy covered, Dave.
But the referee again is trying to separate Lawler and Travis. He's not watching what's going on across the ring.
Who is this lady?
Who is that?
Is that Randy? Is that Randy's mother, you think? Who is that?
Or his grandmother.
Who in the world
Who is that? Oh, my goodness. Oh, don't tell me, fans. Yeah, it is
the last moment. Can you believe Brandon Baxter dressed up? Look at this. 2 count on Lawler. He kicks out. This must have been part of Randy Hales' plan, to fire Brandon and then to get him back in here in the sight. He nails Billy Joe Travis to cover 1 or 2. Oh, and Travis up. Boy, oh boy. Talk about action. Hey, I'll tell you what. All right. We may have to keep the... Right, let's do that. We're gonna take a break. We need to go to break. We'll do that. We'll be back with you, fans. We'll keep things rolling. Oh, my goodness. Look out. 1, 2, 3. They just pinned Randy. They just pinned Randy. Don't go away yet. Don't go away. They just pinned Randy. Randy just got beat. Oh. Hey, we're back on the Power Hour, Dave. Got Randy in the chair right now. He's going to have his head shaved. That was the stipulation on the match. Here's Mr. Coffey.
Let me ask you a question. Who signs your check? I do, right, Randy Hales? Well, if you touch a hair on my head, you're fired. You're fired if you do this, Mr. Coffey. So that's your choice.
I'm not going to shave his head. I need to be paid.
What'd he say?
Mr. Coffey said he needs to be paid, so he's not going to shave his head.
Well, he's not going to do it. He doesn't want to be fired.
Randy's threatened him that if he shaves his head, he won't give him a check. I think. Look out.
Oh, now Lawler's got him. Lawler and Lance Jade put Randy, and Stacy's got the Clippers. And she's already got a good start on a reverse mohawk there. Here we go. Randy unhappy about it. But it's his own fault for signing the match.
It sure is. No. We tried to tell him over today.
They're being shaved. Travis trying to get in there, but Streak has the guitar to keep him out of the action.
Calling for Billy.
Those Clippers taking him right down to the scalp, all right.
Help me, Billy! No!
Brandon Storman trying to get out of there.
Help me, Billy, he's yelling. Billy can't get in there. He's being kept out by Streak.
Randy Hales losing every piece of hair right there in the middle of the ring. They're all holding him down while Stacy does the honors. Randy threatening Mr. Coffey.
Yeah, he's yelling for Billy. Billy can't get to him. He can't see. He's got his eyes closed. He can't see with the Streak. There he is. Head shaved. Head shaved. We think it's sad that it's come to this. There's Lawler. Lawler and Stacy got the pin on Randy Hales. And the owner of the company has just been shaved bald right here in the middle of the ring on Power Pro Wrestling, being controlled by Billy Joe Travis and Brandon Baxter, who came in here disguised and came in with obviously a loaded purse. And he was going to try to take out Lawler, but did not work.
And now Randy Hales, you talked about having me wake up next to a bald-headed, ugly person. Well, I know, Randy Hales, every morning when you wake up by yourself, because no woman in her right mind would have anything to do with you before. And now, for sure, you'll never be able to get a woman, Randy Hales. So get up every morning, stare in that mirror, and look at that bald, ugly head of yours next to Stacy right here, and think about it, pal.
That's the Power Hour for today. What another wild one, Corey. Be sure to join us 11 o'clock next Saturday for more Power Pro Wrestling. Until then, for Corey Macklin, I'm Dave Brown. So long, everybody.
I'd worked in '95 with Brandon Baxter, and I thought he was a great heel manager, and I think he is, because there's been Bruno's, and I loved, and Scott Bowden did a great job, but the best manager in Memphis since Jimmy Hart is Brandon Baxter. I saw that, pushed him big time. I thought he was just absolutely fantastic, and still today. He's in radio in Jonesboro, Arkansas, my hometown. He's probably the most popular celebrity in town, and that drives me crazy and makes me jealous, and it really does. But Brandon was going to be brought in as the main heel manager. That was the idea from the get-go. He was also brought in because I felt he had a knowledge. He reminded me a lot about me. I thought I needed help in the promotion end, the creative end, that sort of thing. I knew he was younger than me, and I knew the styles of wrestling was changes. He got it. I didn't. I could still do personal issues, and I could still format television, I felt, for Memphis, Tennessee better than anybody at that point. Better than anybody. But I needed somebody to be able to be up to date in the times and with the young guys and manage them and produce them, and Brandon was the guy. But he was the top heel manager. By mistake, I became the top heel manager because the people went with it and bought it. That was working. So just out of, hey, I got to have something to do for Brandon, Lawler and I, was that we needed to change up and go with something different. It ended up with a feud between Brandon Baxter and myself, and we did so much good stuff there. So much good stuff that went on for months and involved Michael Hayes and Tony Falk and Jim Cornette and so much. That was good stuff too. I did one interview at one point that I was got real personal on Brandon and threw him in a dumpster, but the words I said before was talking about his father, his dead father, and just said terrible stuff. I was trying to get heat, and I kind of regret that. But let's go back and relive the Brandon Baxter feud in 1998-99 with Randy Hales.
Brandon Baxter making his way around the ring. I want to get Baxter's comments on the handicap match that's coming up here next on the Power Hour. I want to get your thoughts on this big match coming up.
Mackie! One thing! That match isn't going to happen the way you've been promoting it. What I want to do, Stacey, if you can hear me in the dressing room, I know we're supposed to be partners. Come on out here to the set. I have something I need to tell you. Come on, Stacey, play your music.
Well, I don't know, but we've been talking about it, and according to my 4 matches, will take place today, handicap match, and we'll see. Never know what's up the sleeve of Brandon Baxter. Here comes Stacey making her way around.
1 second. Just 1 second of your time. You know, Randy Hales has booked this match, a handicap match, right, Stacey?
Yes.
And for some reason, you know, I just don't see it fit to be on this television program. And see, Stacey, everybody, or some people may not know, so let me tell you, Randy Hales is obsessed with the wrestling business. He's so obsessed, he lets it drive him crazy. And about 2 years ago, Randy Hales was on the verge of a nervous breakdown. He got into things that he shouldn't have got into. He got into trouble. He went crazy, and he secluded himself in his own home. What I see is Randy Hales getting that obsessed again. He's obsessed with running you out of Power Pro Wrestling, with running Jerry Lawler out of Power Pro Wrestling, and now myself. I don't think this situation is safe because I think Randy Hales is going to do whatever it takes to get rid of you or me or Jerry Lawler. So what we're going to do, I'll take the match all by myself. I'll wrestle Randy Hales. I don't want to be responsible for you. I'll be responsible for myself.
I don't need you to be responsible for me. I can take care of myself.
Go ahead and go to the dressing room. You won't get hurt.
I don't trust you, Brandon. I don't trust you at all.
It doesn't mean trust. Just go ahead and walk to the dressing room.
No,
I'll fight Randy Hales in this ring if it's a fight. I'll fight him myself. I don't need to have to worry about you getting hurt, okay?
You don't have to worry about me. I am not your responsibility.
All you need to do is go ahead, get to the dressing room and get... Oh, here he comes.
Here comes Randy Hales. I don't know what you guys are... What now, Randy?
I'm almost speechless. Absolutely almost speechless. First of all, Stacey, I cannot believe week after week that you would come out here and embarrass yourself. Wearing stuff like that is absolutely sickening. What are you trying to do? You are
absolutely, I've known a lot of people in my life, but you're absolutely the most embarrassing, no-good human being I've ever seen in my life.
Come on, Randy.
I'll tell you exactly what I did. What happened is Jerry Lawler was one of my closest friends in life, and then you got in his ear, and you ruined that, and you did the same thing with him. You did the same thing with him. I ain't lost my mind. I ain't lost my mind. You're a tramp is what you are.
Hey, come on. Randy, come on. This is not the place to air this.
You listen to me. Because you had the opportunity, you had a big opportunity, because it just so happened that I worked my rear end off every day, and I built this company to what it is today, and I needed a right-hand man, and I chose you. Because I thought the fact that you grew up watching wrestling, I thought you had it in you. But you don't. You don't have that heart, and you don't have that desire, and you don't have that work ethic that I have. Because I may not be the smartest guy in the world, but there ain't anybody in here, and there ain't anybody back in the back that will work as hard as I will, and you know that. There ain't a show out there, and I'm telling you,
hey,
I'm telling you, you put your hand. No, let me tell you a little bit about you, a little bit about Brandon Baxter's life. You people don't know nothing about Brandon Baxter. Well, let me tell you something. Brandon Baxter, I heard this story. As a matter of fact, when we were riding up, you told me. Brandon Baxter, his parents were married at a young age, 17, 18 years old. Unfortunate situation that happened. His mother was expecting twins. It's a true story. His father should have been staying at home with his wife, but he went off on some fishing trip, went flying in a plane, and it's terrible. I'm saying it's terrible. The plane crashed, and your dad died.
He did, Randy. Come on, Randy.
Your dad died.
Yeah, he did. Now, you don't need to have that stuff That left you without a father. I'm just trying to help you here. Randy, come on.
I'm trying to help the man.
That's not the way to help him,
because his mother had 3 kids. Well,
you don't have anything to do with it for crying out loud. What does it bother you, Randy?
The government supporting him with welfare.
So what? We don't need that stuff out here. Come on. Randy, come on. Enough of that. Come on. Come on, Randy. Hey. Well, I tell you, I've got to say this time that Randy Hales deserved that. Here comes Billy Travis out. Look out, Brandon. Nails Brandon. Randy's just out here running his mouth about a bunch of stuff that's none of his business. For crying out loud. Snapper, come on. Let's get somebody out here and put this stuff on. Come on, Randy.
How about that?
Come on, Randy.
How about that?
Come on, Randy. How about that? Come on, let's come on.
How about that? You're a loser. You have it.
Come on, Randy. That's enough of that stuff. I got it.
You better get her out of here. Get her out. Get her out. I've had enough.
Come on, Satan. Boy, you got it. You're real proud of yourself, I guess, for pulling all this stuff out of here. Stay back, Stacy. Randy, come on. 2 against 1 makes you real proud.
Hold her up again.
That is absolutely ridiculous. Come on.
Get her out of here. I'm holding you. Get her out of here.
Come on. Come on.
Get out of here.
Come on, Randy. Now he's got security dragging Stacy off.
You had enough.
He said it's enough, Randy. You've heard it. Let the guy go. Oh, look out! Brandon comes from behind. Look out, Brandon. Look out! Billy Travis with that guitar, and boy, he smacked him with it.
He's had enough now.
What do you think, Billy? Yeah, he's had enough for crying out loud.
I tried to do
2 against 1.
I tried to do this for his own good. He wouldn't listen. So apparently I'm going to have to discard him like I have to do, like a TV that don't work, put him in the garbage. Come on, Billy.
Boy, I tell you the truth. Absolutely uncalled for. Randy Hales, Billy Travis just nailed Brandon Baxter with that guitar and cut Baxter right on the top of the head there. Now they're dragging him out of the studio. Where in the world are they taking him? Hales and Billy Travis, and Travis says, hey, let's take the garbage out. Enough of that stuff. Absolutely gone too far. There's Randy Hales, Billy Travis. They're dragging Brandon Baxter out by his feet. Now they're picking him up there. Boy, I tell you, Randy's just out here running his mouth about a bunch of stuff. Personal business between Brandon Baxter and his family that Randy had absolutely nothing to do with. And hey, I'm telling you, these guys are not about to do what I think they're going to do here, I know. Come on, let's take a break. I don't want to see it. Brandon's done a lot of stuff that I don't necessarily agree with, but no one deserves this treatment. Come on! Take a break right now. Let's do it. Take a break.
In '99, so happened Jim Cornette had left the WWF offices, started a developmental center, Ohio Valley Wrestling in Louisville, and he was going to come in every week with us as part of Power Pro Wrestling. I needed to figure out how to involve him, and we did a lot of stuff together and a face-off type of thing. He hurt me. I do the surprise return to television, and you'll see that in a few minutes. Then I do a promo after I hit the ring and do what I think is my best babyface promo ever. My best babyface promo ever. So I want you to take a look at the Jim Cornette, Randy Hales stuff.
And now even if it's the $5,000's worth it, because Baxter puts the stunner on him. This could do it. He pinned him.
Oh,
Look out.
Lights are...
What's going on? Hey, what's going on?
Jim Cornette.
Jim Cornette. Cornette shows up with that tennis racket.
What is this?
Hey, come on.
Looks like everybody's trying to collect $5,000 here today.
I know. The referee's calling for the bell.
Brandon Baxter.
James E. Cornette, not even scheduled to be here today, shows up on the Power Hour. Here comes Alan Steele out. C.B. Wyatt nails him with those nunchucks. There's Robbie D. They knock Robbie out.
He was nailed by Jerry King as he tried to get up on the ring apron.
Hey,
meanwhile,
come on.
Cornette is jumping up and down on Brandon Baxter. He really blasted him with that tennis racket, and again he nails him. He got him right in the head one time, yeah. Now choking him.
Yeah, Cornette thinks he's Andre Agassi or somebody, I guess, with that tennis racket. He's putting it on Brandon Baxter.
Except Agassi doesn't choke people with his.
No, he doesn't. He plays by the rules, unlike Cornette's doing in here. Robbie D finally, here comes some help. Randy sends out Kurt Angle and Whoopie D. Whoopie with the hubcap, and the hubcap a little too much for that tennis racket, and Cornette takes off.
I'll try to get attend to Brandon here. Brandon not looking too good.
No, just an attack on Brandon
by Jim Cornette. He shouldn't even be anywhere around here.
No,
there he is, James E. Cornette. I think most of you wrestling fans know him. Randy and the other guys attending to Brandon. Brandon,
I'm going to go up and see.
He doesn't look to be in good shape at all. Corey, you gonna? Yeah, okay. Let's do that. Let's just take a break. Take care of Brandon, and then we'll be back. Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't want to bring anybody out here while he's out here ranting and raving like this. Come on, Cornette. Just take it right on out of here, if you don't mind. Just take it right on out of here.
Wait a minute. Why don't I just talk to you for a minute, Dave? I'm sorry. I'm sweating. I have a little work to attend to. Look at this. First of all, that stinking punk bit. Can you get a shot of that, you idiot? He bit my tennis racket with his big, ugly, granite head. That stinking punk Brandon Baxter. You know something? There is a bunch of incompetence down here. Nobody, I mean nobody, has been able to collect the $5,000 that I put on that stinking punk's head.
You're the one that did it.
Oh, yeah, that's right, baby. $5,000 to Jim Cornette. He doesn't like to come down and get his hands dirty, you see. But I had to because I had no other choice. Because a couple of guys tried. They couldn't get it done, and the other ones that were supposed to chickened out didn't try at all. Well, let me tell you something, Brandon Baxter. I get what I pay for. And if I can't, then I'll come down and do it myself like I just did. I don't think you're going to be walking around Memphis, walking around Power Pro Wrestling anymore, because I dinged your head, and I choked you out, and I kicked the bejesus out of you. And Brandon Baxter, the reason for it is because you remember Dave Brown just as well as everybody out there does. See, when I came down here in February to Power Pro Wrestling, I got in a match with Brandon Baxter due to the request of my good friend Randy Hales, and Brandon Baxter knocked my front tooth out right here.
Yeah, but he didn't intend to, for heaven's sake. That was an accident, and then you come down here putting a bounty on
He
it.
drew his fist back, he punched me in the mouth, and knocked my tooth out. If that was an accident, then so was the bombing of Pearl Harbor. And I'm going to tell you something, Baxter. Nobody gets one over on Jim Cornette. You cost me a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of embarrassment. And so I'm going to cost you real dear. I'm going to cost you your career. But you see, the reason why I'm here in person today of all days is because finally I have realized that my quest to get a hold of that welcher, that cheat, that con man, that backstabbing turncoat Randy Hales is not going to work unless I confront him in person. Because you see, when I was down here in February, I sat down with Randy Hales and I said, Randy, I said, you're sitting on top of a gold mine, but being as you're from Jonesboro, Arkansas, you're a redneck hillbilly, you don't know how to take advantage of it. If you and me join forces, I told Randy, I said, with my financial backing, my connections in this business, my intelligence, my experience, and your ability to type, we could be a great team. We could be a great team. We could have the greatest wrestling promotion of all time, manage a huge stable of wrestlers. And Randy Hales told me, Jim Cornette, I'll go for it. I'll give you 50%.
I find that hard to believe.
I find it hard to believe that you're only 75 years old and you look as bad as you do. But Randy Hales told me he was going to give me 50% of Power Pro Wrestling if I came down here and showed him what to do. Because after all, what is Randy Hales, huh? What is he really?
He's the owner, the founder, and the very successful president of Power Pro Wrestling.
What he is a redneck hillbilly from Jonesboro, Arkansas, with an Adam's apple as big as a basketball. He buys his clothes at Kmart, and he doesn't have a... Shut up! And he doesn't have a clue about how to run a wrestling company, but I do. And Randy Hales, I got news for you. A big international star such as myself don't like being jerked around. As a matter of fact, you realize I'm not only a national star, I'm a worldwide star. They sell dolls to me at Walmart, for Christ's sake. And I'm sick and tired, Randy Hales, of you ignoring my cards, my letters, my phone calls, my FedExes, my faxes. So I have come here today to get what's
where
right.
all those came from, too. The phone calls on the air and the FedEx package.
My God, Dr. Watson, watch out. This man has a firm grasp of the obvious. We'd have a nice conversation if you just stand there and hold a microphone. I came to get what is rightfully mine, Randy Hales. 50% of this company. I moved from Connecticut back to my home in Louisville, Kentucky, just so that I'd be closer to show you what to do. To show you, you Arkansas simpleton, how to run a company, how to deal with wrestlers, how to deal with talent. So, Randy Hales, you may be able to ignore me when I send messengers, but I've come here in person, and I want you out here right now. I want you skinny, long, tall, stick men, drink of water, and that Adam's apple that sticks out like that, to come out here in your cheap clothes and
Here's Randy right here, and a mighty fine...
Brandon, I wasn't avoiding you. You owe me. I'm in your face right now, Cornette.
Oh, you are?
What do you...
Hey, come on. Hey, come on.
Let me tell you something. Now, you talk a lot, Cornette. You talk a lot. Let me tell you something right now, Cornette. I want you to know this. You come out here and it's 14 after, and the problem that you made for this TV is the stinking volunteer your whole life. You won't shut up. You're stinking out. That's why. Let me tell you something. You said how you were brilliant. Let's go back to 92. Because you could talk yourself into it, they hired you, Jim Hurt or somebody, the WCW Creative Committee. Well, you couldn't keep your mouth shut, you couldn't get along, and they fired you. They fired you. Then you caught somebody out of $1 million, and you opened up Smoky Mountain Wrestling, and after you lost all his money, Cornette, then you know what happened? You shut it down.
Oh, wait a minute, Mr. Genius. So what you're saying is, because you don't have $1 million, you pay your stinking wrestlers off in chickens and grass seed around here, you hillbilly.
Let me tell you this. Then, after you bankrupted that company, what happened, Cornette? You went to the WWF. You talked McMahon into hiring you. You couldn't get along with Bruce. You couldn't really get along with JR. You couldn't get along with Russo or any of them. And now your butt's back in Louisville because they wouldn't do your stuff. Let me tell you something. The bottom line is, Cornette, I said I'd let you hear as the manager, but I've seen the light. Let me tell you something. Whatever I have, I work my own. If this company loses money, I lose money, not anybody else. If the company makes money...
Well, I got news for you. Wearing this that you probably come up with at a garage sale, you can't afford to lose $5. But I'll tell you something. I couldn't get along with people because I'm a genius. And they wouldn't listen to me. Just like you're not listening to me. I could go out here and grab somebody out of the audience to run a better wrestling company than you. What you want is you want to sit down here in Hickland, in Memphis, with all of these all these rednecks.
In Memphis, you went to Louisiana, you went all over the world. Now you think you can come back after we've all, including you, Dave Brown, and you sweated blood, sweat, and tears. You just take 50%, me give it to you. You're crazy as hell.
Pardon me.
You're crazy as hell for that.
Yeah, see, I started in Memphis, and I was the only one to make it. I left because I was the only one with the ability and the talent to get over somewhere and make $1 million while you stayed here. And I'm going to tell you something, Randy, and I want you to listen real good. No violence, no raised voice. Here's the deal, man. I want 50% of this company like you promised me, or elsewise, I'm going to take 100%. Because I'm going to sign up everybody that means a thing, and I'm going to be calling the shots, and you, local yokel, are going to be back serving Slurpees at a 7-Eleven in Jonesboro or slinging a strawberry sundaes at the Steak and Shake. Because Jim Cornette, I will see to it. I promise you.
Hey, let me tell you this. We're late on time. Before you get a part of this company, I'll be a dead man, and that ain't going to happen. You'll have to get this company over my dead body, you...
That's very agreeable to me. That's very agreeable to me.
Get the hell out of this segment.
Okay, let's take a break.
Oh,
our big garbage can, and Randy Hales has jumped in the ring to help Brandon and Wolfie with the big garbage can. He nails them. Throws the can out on top of Jim Cornette.
And throws that tennis racket. He should throw that tennis racket in that garbage can.
Yeah, he should have.
Put Cornette in there and throw all of them out of here.
Cornette.
He slipped up and falls probably on that pizza that they had laying around the floor.
Randy, says the crowd. Yeah. Man, I've never been happier to see him. He's been out for 6 weeks after an injury, thanks to James Cornette. Yeah, just thank you for showing up here, Randy Hales. Back. What a return, too, huh?
First thing I want to do, I got to thank two people for holding the fort down the last 6 weeks with me gone. Corey Macklin, thank you, and I want to thank Brandon Baxter. But I think it's obvious to everybody that the owner, that the founder, and the president of Power Pro Wrestling is back, and I'm back in charge, people. Now, I understand there's hundreds of people in the studio today, and I appreciate every one of them. There's a lot of people sitting at home, hundreds of thousands watching TV5 all over the Mid-South watching this, and I appreciate every one of you. But I'm not worried about ratings for the first time in my life. I'm not worried about drawing a house in the New Daisy tonight. What I'm worried about, what I'm thinking about, is Jim Cornette. I think most of these people out here are my friends. I think they know that Power Pro Wrestling, people, Power Pro Wrestling has been my dream. Power Pro Wrestling has been my passion. Power Pro Wrestling has been my life. And Jim Cornette tried to take it all away from me. But let me tell you something. If you think for 1 second that I'll let some low down, no good, scum of the earth
backstabbing, egg-sudden, rockin' son of a... Take this company away from me. You don't know Randy Hales very good at all. You don't know him good at all. Now, let me say this, and I want to make this real clear. When you grow up and become a man, you realize there's something in life, some points in your life that you have to take drastic measures to protect something you love. You do it for Margaret. You would do it for the kids. I'd do it for my family. But I would also do it for my business. I would do it for Power Pro Wrestling. And about 6 weeks ago, after about 20 years of coming to this station at 8 o'clock on Saturday mornings, and then 1 o'clock getting in the car and leaving, you know what happened? You were here. I was carried out to a stretcher on an ambulance and out to Baptist East. We went to the hospital. That's exactly what happened to me. But Jim Cornette, if you think that was the last Randy Hales would ever be seen on Memphis television, you're stupider than you look, and that's for sure. Now, there's an old Jim Croce song, Dave, and I'll butcher the lines here, but I love this song and I think it's great. The song talks about there's things in life you don't do. It says that you don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't spit in the wind. You don't mess with the mask of the old Lone Ranger. And Jim Cornette, you're going to find out you don't try to screw me out of Power Pro Wrestling. That's for sure.
All right.
Now, when it comes down to this, the mystery opponent is no mystery. It's going to be me. I'm going to ask Brandon Baxter to keep Kevin Christian out of it. I'm going to ask Kelly Warren, Wolf Whoopie, and all my friends to make sure it's me and you, Jim Cornette.
Randy's the
And this is not going to be Jack Briscoe and Terry Funk. This is not going to be a technical wrestling match. This is going to be a fight. Now, I grew up in Jonesboro, Arkansas, where there were street fights. You grew up in your mother's house practicing tennis lessons, Jimmy Cornette. It's a fight between me and you. Now, I want to say one more thing. It's no secret. On Wednesday night in my church, I'm a youth minister, and I teach the kids, and I try to teach them the right things. This past week, our lesson was on hate, and I'm not going to come out and say I hate you, Jim Cornette, but what I'm going to come out and tell you, Jim Cornette, is tonight at the new Daisy Theater, Randy Hales and Jim Cornette. There's no way, Jim Cornette, I'm laying down for you. You're in for a fight, and you're not equipped to handle it, and that's a fact.
That's the word from the founder, the owner, and the president of Power Pro Wrestling. He's the mystery man. He'll be going against Jim Cornette tonight, and we'll be back.
It came down to April Day in 2001. Just the week before, I was told that would be our last television show. So I had to announce that to the people. This is the hardest interview that I've ever done, and I wanted you to take a look at this.
Power Pro Wrestling is sponsored by Bill Blake Auto Insurance.
Power Pro Wrestling. Power Pro Wrestling. Power Pro Wrestling. The Power Hour. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Power Hour live right here on TV5. We're set to go with another big Saturday of action. Dave Brown and Corey Macklin here at ringside once again.
Here we are, buddy, right here for the Power Hour. We're on air live in the studio of WMC TV5 and ready to go with another big one.
And in the ring right now, the owner, the founder, the president of Power Pro Wrestling, Randy Hales.
Thank you very much, Dave. Thank you very much, Corey. If I could have everybody's attention for just a second, I wanted to start the show, and it'll be a great show today, and we're thrilled to death with everything scheduled. Wanted to make this announcement. You know, Power Pro Wrestling premiered 3 years ago on April the 18th, 1998, and it was the happiest day of my life, and I'm sure a lot of people here were there that day. You know, Memphis wrestling has been a part of me for my whole life. I started watching wrestling in 1971, and I guess obsession is a good word to say, but I love Memphis wrestling. It's part of me. You know, my dream always, you know, a lot of kids want to be the doctor or the lawyer. I wanted to be in the wrestling business. A lot of people don't get to live their dream. Most people don't get to live their dream, and I'm blessed for the fact that I was able to do that thanks to a lot of people over the years, and thanks to the best wrestling fans in the world, the fans of Memphis, Tennessee. We were able to do that. And for the past 3 years, I think we've done a great job, and the talent have been great. And a lot of people have put their heart and soul into Power Pro Wrestling, and from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate every one of them, and I hope I can get through this interview right now, because I feel myself not getting through it. Anyway, I wanted to make this announcement. You know, one thing that's sure in life is, that you can always be sure of, is that everything changes. And regretfully, I'm here to announce that had a meeting last Saturday afternoon, and due to kind of way financially things have changed in the wrestling business and the TV business, and because of insurance liability reasons, I was informed a week ago, last Saturday, that today is the last ever Power Pro television show. And I just wanted to come out and tell you, and I don't want to bring people down today, because you never know what happened down the line. They're going to start airing next week of the best of Memphis wrestling, some classic footage, and you never know what will happen after that. I just wanted to come out here right now once again and say that I appreciate everything from everybody.
Over the years, some of these independent shows, I've gone to do them, and I think Brandon Baxter or Derek King, the very first one that I did, had the idea, go out with a song, Bruce Springsteen's Glory Days. And I thought just some videos, some pictures, some highlights of the past. I thought it would be good, because I'm telling you, it's my book, Living the Dreams. This is my companion video. I've never had a Randy Hales music video, and I would love it, with pictures, with some action, with some promo shots, different things. A Randy Hales music video, Glory Days. Take a look at that now.
He could throw that speedball by you.
Hope you enjoy the book, Living the Dream, Memphis Wrestling, the Randy Hales story. And I thought it would be neat to share some of the videos, some of the action, some of the promos that I did throughout the years. Enjoy the book. Let me know what you think. And I thank everybody for supporting me, for always being there for Memphis Wrestling. Until next time, and for all the people that's made this possible, like Eddie Marlin, Jerry Lawler, Bill Dundee, Lance Russell, Dave Brown, Brandon Baxter, I can name them. For everybody that's helped me, I'm Randy Hales saying bye-bye, everybody. This video would not happen if it was not for my friend Adam Dunn, who has produced this DVD, this video. So much thanks to Adam Dunn for everything he's done, and he's the #1 supporter, and he's never given up. It went away in 2001. Adam Dunn's always been out there supporting and plugging Power Pro, and I appreciate that very much.
For the first time in 20 years, you can now own the greatest hits of Power Pro Wrestling. Log on to Randy Hales, MemphisWrestling.com. The last ever live studio wrestling. WWE's first developmental territory. Memphis Legends. Classic Memphis Wrestling with a new twist. Live studio wrestling from the studios of WMC TV5. The Power Hour. Own the entire collection. Expect the unexpected.